The man stood quietly at the edge of the shore. The sand beneath his feet was cool and soft, pressing gently against his toes. The waves moved rhythmically, rolling in and out, whispering their gentle lullaby. The sky above was painted in soft shades of gold and orange as the last light of the sun stretched across the horizon. He breathed slowly, feeling the calmness of the evening settle into his chest. Each wave that touched the sand seemed to sigh, carrying the soothing scent of the sea. His eyes followed the gentle ripples, watching as they shimmered in the fading sunlight, reflecting the delicate glow like scattered pearls on water. A soft breeze brushed his cheeks, carrying a faint hint of salt and the distant cry of a seagull returning to its nest. He felt the quiet around him wrap around like a warm blanket, comforting and still. Every sound, every subtle movement of the tide, every shifting grain of sand seemed to speak of peace and rest. The man knelt, letting his fingers trace the cool sand, feeling connected to the earth beneath him. He closed his eyes for a moment, listening to the harmony of the sea and the whispering wind. There was no rush, no urgency, only the gentle rhythm of the ocean and the calming evening air. The sun disappeared slowly, leaving behind a soft golden trail across the water. The quiet of the empty beach, the tender movement of the waves, and the gentle breath of the wind created a sanctuary of peace, where he could simply exist, calm and serene. A gentle evening breeze brushed across his face, carrying the faint, salty scent of the sea. The air was cool but soft, wrapping around him like a delicate shawl. Each inhalation felt refreshing, as if the wind itself was whispering calm thoughts into his mind. He walked slowly along the shoreline, feeling the sand shift quietly beneath his feet. Tiny grains clung to his toes, warm from the day's sun, then cooled instantly as the tide washed over them. The rhythmic sound of the waves mingled with the soft sigh of the breeze, creating a perfect, soothing harmony. Above, the sky deepened into shades of lavender and soft purple. The last traces of sunlight lingered on the horizon, gentle and unhurried. He tilted his head slightly, letting the wind play through his hair, and felt the tension of the day dissolve with each passing moment. A flock of distant seagulls glided silently, their wings cutting through the cool air, moving slowly and gracefully. Their presence was calming, as if the world had slowed down just for him. Every movement, every sound, every breath of wind felt like a gentle invitation to pause, to relax, and to simply exist. He stopped for a moment, closing his eyes, letting the evening breeze wash over him completely. The sand, the sea, the wind, they were all in perfect harmony, a quiet symphony designed to calm the soul. He smiled softly, feeling a deep, gentle peace spread through him, warm and unhurried, as the day quietly whispered goodbye. The last rays of the sun stretched lazily across the horizon, painting the sky in soft shades of gold and pink. The water reflected the gentle colors, shimmering like liquid light with each slow ripple. He stood quietly, watching as the sun gradually sank, feeling the warmth of its final glow fade gently from his skin. Each wave rolled in with a soft sigh, then retreated, leaving tiny patterns in the sand that sparkled briefly before being smoothed away. The gentle rhythm of the tide seemed to echo the slow beating of his heart, steady and calming. The air was filled with a tranquil hush, only the whispers of the breeze and the soft lap of water against the shore disturbed the stillness. He inhaled deeply, savoring the calm, and felt the lingering warmth of the sun mix with the cool evening air, creating a perfect balance. A small boat floated far in the distance, its silhouette serene against the fading light. He imagined it moving slowly through the calm waters, untouched by the hurry of the world, drifting peacefully into the approaching night. He closed his eyes for a moment, feeling the final glow of sunlight linger on his eyelids, as if the day itself was gently tucking him in. Everything felt hushed, safe, and untroubled, as though the world had paused to let him breathe and rest in perfect stillness. Far away, he heard the soft hum of a boat drifting slowly across the calm waters. Its movement was steady and unhurried, leaving a gentle ripple in the ocean as it passed. The sound was faint, almost like a distant lullaby carried by the evening breeze. He listened quietly, feeling a sense of calm settle over him. The waves continued their rhythmic dance, meeting the shore with tender whispers, and the soft echo of the distant boat blended perfectly with their quiet song. Above, the sky deepened into twilight, painted in gentle purples and soft indigos. The horizon seemed endless, stretching far beyond sight, while the faint glow of the remaining sunlight kissed the water with golden highlights. The breeze moved lightly, brushing his face and ruffling his hair, carrying the faint smell of salt and the distant wood of the boat. Every gentle sound felt like a tender invitation to relax, to let go of all tension, and simply be present in this quiet moment. He closed his eyes, letting the combination of wind, waves, and distant boat hum fill his senses. Peace settled deep within him, and a soft smile curved his lips, as though the world itself was humming a gentle goodnight. He bent down and let his fingers sink slowly into the cool sand. Each grain was soft yet firm, pressing gently against his skin as if the earth itself was welcoming him. The sand had cooled since the sun had gone down, carrying a subtle freshness that reminded him of early morning walks along the shore. He spread the sand across his palm, letting it trickle slowly through his fingers. The tiny grains sparkled faintly in the remaining twilight, each one catching the last glimmers of gold and pink from the fading sun. It was mesmerizing, almost hypnotic, to watch the sand flow and scatter so delicately. The beach was quiet, except for the gentle whisper of waves. Each wave rolled in softly, brushing against the shoreline and then retreating, leaving behind small, intricate patterns. He knelt there, tracing those tiny patterns with his fingertips, feeling a deep connection to the rhythm of the earth and water. A soft breeze stirred around him, carrying the cool scent of salt and seaweed. It moved lightly over his face and hands, brushing against the sand as it shifted with the wind. The combination of the cold sand beneath him, the whispering waves, and the delicate breeze created a cocoon of tranquility around him. He closed his eyes for a moment, leaning forward to let the sand press gently against his palms and knees. Each breath he took was slow and deep, in harmony with the rhythm of the waves. The cold sand felt grounding, anchoring him in the calmness of the evening, as if the world had paused just for this serene moment. Time seemed to stretch gently. The stars above began to sparkle faintly, and the sky darkened into deep purples and soft indigos. The beach, the sand, the water, and the night air, all of it whispered quietly to his soul, inviting him to rest, to feel safe, and to drift ever closer to peace. A small, gentle wave approached the shore, moving slowly as if in no rush at all. Its surface glimmered softly in the dim light, reflecting the last traces of twilight like scattered silver threads. The wave reached his feet with a tender caress, washing over the sand and leaving a smooth, damp path behind. He lifted his toes slightly, feeling the cool water flow between them. The sensation was delicate and calming, like a soft hand brushing lightly against his skin. The wave pulled back gradually, retreating to the sea with a soft, rhythmic murmur, leaving a thin line of foam that sparkled briefly before fading into the sand. The sound of the wave was hypnotic, each rise and fall echoing in quiet harmony with his slow, deep breaths. He knelt down again, resting his palms on the damp sand and watching the gentle motion of the water. The ebb and flow seemed to breathe in tandem with him, a subtle lullaby created by nature itself. Above him, the sky darkened further, and a few stars began to twinkle faintly. The soft colors of dusk had faded to deep indigo, and the ocean mirrored this quiet darkness, broken only by the gentle shimmer of the wave's crest as it rolled in. The breeze moved softly, carrying with it the fresh scent of sea salt and a faint hint of wet sand. He closed his eyes, letting the cool water, the rhythmic sound, and the soothing air envelop him completely. Each wave brought a sense of release, washing away any lingering tension and leaving only stillness, peace, and comfort. For a moment, he simply listened to the gentle tide, the whispering wind, and the soft harmony of nature's lullaby. It was a perfect, serene rhythm that invited him to pause, to breathe, and to let the calmness of the evening fill every corner of his mind. As the evening deepened, a small flock of birds glided silently above the water, their wings cutting through the cool air with gentle grace. They moved slowly, effortlessly, tracing soft arcs in the sky as if performing a quiet dance. Each beat of their wings seemed perfectly timed with the rhythm of the waves below. He watched them, mesmerized by their calm, unhurried movements. Their shadows stretched across the shimmering water, flickering briefly before fading into the soft darkness. The birds' gentle calls, almost whispers, drifted through the air, blending seamlessly with the lull of the sea. The sand beneath him was cool and soft, and he felt a sense of quiet connection to the birds above. Their freedom, their effortless gliding through the evening sky, mirrored the serenity he felt within himself. He inhaled slowly, letting the crisp, salty air fill his lungs, feeling the calm spread through his chest and down to his toes. A slight breeze rustled over the shoreline, carrying the faint scent of the sea and the distant sound of the retreating waves. The birds moved farther along the horizon, their silhouettes growing smaller, yet their presence lingered in the air like a soft, comforting memory. He closed his eyes, imagining the gentle flap of their wings and the soft whispers they left behind. It was as if the birds themselves were guardians of this quiet beach, guiding him into a deeper, more peaceful state. Every sound, every motion, every breath of wind became part of a gentle symphony of restfulness, encouraging him to relax, to let go, and to drift further into calmness. Above him, the sky was a canvas of soft purples and gentle blues. Thin, delicate clouds stretched lazily across the horizon, their edges tinged with the faint glow of the lingering sunlight. They drifted slowly, almost imperceptibly, as if time itself had slowed to match the calm of the evening. He tilted his head back, letting his eyes follow the gentle movement of the clouds. Each one seemed to float effortlessly, casting faint, shifting shadows across the glimmering surface of the water. Their shapes were soft and rounded, comforting in their irregularity, as if nature had arranged them just for quiet contemplation. A subtle breeze carried the faint scent of the ocean, brushing against his cheeks and ruffling his hair. The combination of the cool air, the whispering waves, and the slow dance of the clouds created a perfect cocoon of tranquility. He inhaled deeply, feeling the serenity sink into his shoulders, his chest, and all the way down to his toes. The faint shimmer of stars began to peek through the thinning clouds, tiny pinpricks of light twinkling softly against the deepening sky. He imagined each star as a gentle heartbeat in the vast night, pulsing in quiet harmony with the rhythm of the waves. He leaned back on the cool sand, closing his eyes and letting the clouds drift across his mind's eye. Every breath, every sigh of wind, every soft ripple of water became part of a tender lullaby. The clouds moved slowly, calmly, reminding him that the world had paused, and that he too could simply rest, safe and at peace. A gentle evening breeze returned, cooler now as the sun had disappeared completely. It moved softly across his skin, brushing his cheeks and the tips of his hair with a tender, almost invisible touch. Each movement of the air felt like a soft sigh from the earth itself, inviting him to relax even deeper. He walked slowly along the shoreline, letting the fine grains of sand shift gently beneath his feet. Each step created a subtle connection to the calm earth, grounding him in the stillness of the evening. The whisper of the waves combined with the rustling of the breeze, forming a quiet melody that filled the space around him. The horizon glowed faintly with the last traces of the sun's farewell, casting delicate shades of lavender and indigo across the water. He paused, inhaling deeply, letting the freshness of the salty air fill his lungs. Every breath seemed to carry away the weight of the day, leaving only calm, gentle energy in its place. Overhead, a few stars began to twinkle softly, peeking through the darkening sky. The breeze moved in gentle arcs, stirring the surface of the water just enough to create soft ripples that shimmered in the dim light. It was a quiet dance of wind, water, and sky, perfectly synchronized with the steady rhythm of his heartbeat. He closed his eyes and tilted his head back, letting the breeze brush against his face fully. In that moment, he felt utterly connected to the calm world around him. The sand beneath, the waves beside, and the wind above. Each element whispered a soft invitation to rest, to let go, and to sink further into a gentle, peaceful slumber. He walked slowly along the shore, feeling the soft sand give slightly under each of his steps. The grains slipped gently between his toes, cool and comforting, grounding him with every movement. Each footstep left a faint imprint, delicate traces of his presence that the gentle tide would soon smooth away. The sound of his steps was barely audible over the tender lap of the waves, a quiet rhythm that blended perfectly with the whisper of the evening breeze. He felt as though each step was a gentle meditation, a small ritual that brought him closer to complete calm. Above, the sky was a deepening shade of indigo, sprinkled with faint, twinkling stars. Their light shimmered softly on the water's surface, creating tiny reflections that danced like floating fireflies. The man paused for a moment, watching the play of light and shadow, feeling the slow, unhurried flow of time around him. The breeze brushed lightly against his skin, carrying the subtle scent of salt and the faint earthiness of damp sand. Each inhalation filled him with tranquility, each exhalation releasing the remnants of tension and restlessness from the day. He continued walking slowly, letting the sand mold softly beneath his feet and the waves caress the shore. The gentle interplay of sand, water, and wind created a soothing melody that resonated through his body and mind. With every step, he felt more relaxed, more connected to the quiet rhythm of the evening, and more ready to let the serenity of the night carry him gently toward rest. He stopped for a moment and inhaled deeply, letting the fresh scent of the sea fill his lungs. The aroma was a delicate blend of salt, damp sand, and faint traces of seaweed, each note soft and calming. It wrapped around him like a gentle embrace, grounding him in the present and inviting a profound sense of peace. The waves whispered softly at his feet, their gentle rhythm harmonizing with the beat of his own heart. Each exhale seemed to mingle with the salty breeze, carrying away any lingering tension from the day. He closed his eyes briefly, savoring the sensation, feeling the breeze caress his cheeks and touzle his hair with the gentlest touch. Above, the sky deepened into rich shades of navy and indigo. The first stars appeared like tiny diamonds scattered across a velvet canvas, reflecting faintly in the shimmering water. A distant gull cried once, softly, before disappearing into the vast night, leaving a serene silence in its wake. He crouched slightly, letting his hands brush lightly over the cool, soft sand. The grains sparkled faintly in the dim light, each one seeming to hold a tiny memory of the sun that had just set. The mingling scents, the whisper of the waves, and the gentle sway of the breeze created a perfect cocoon of calm around him. As he stood again, inhaling once more, he felt a deep sense of connection with the ocean, the sand, and the evening air. Everything around him seemed to sigh quietly in unison, a tender lullaby for his senses, preparing him gently for rest and relaxation. He spotted a smooth, round stone near the water's edge and walked toward it slowly. The stone felt cool beneath his hand as he rested against it, grounding him with its solid, unyielding presence. Its surface was worn soft by countless waves, smooth and comforting, like a small piece of the earth's quiet heart. Sitting upon it, he let his fingers trace the gentle curves, feeling the coolness seep softly into his skin. The stone seemed to radiate stillness, anchoring him in the calm rhythm of the beach. Around him, the waves lapped quietly against the shore, harmonizing perfectly with the faint rustle of the breeze. He gazed out over the water, watching the small ripples catch the faint light of the first emerging stars. The movement of the waves was slow and rhythmic, mirrored by the subtle rise and fall of his chest as he breathed deeply. Each inhale filled him with the fresh, salty air. Each exhale released a gentle sigh, as if the ocean itself was helping him let go. A soft hush settled over the beach, the distant hum of a boat, the gentle lapping of water, and the whisper of the wind combined into a soothing symphony of calm. Leaning slightly against the cool stone, he felt a profound sense of peace, as if time had paused and the world had slowed just for him. Closing his eyes for a moment, he felt the stone beneath him, the sand around him, and the steady rhythm of the ocean. The cool, smooth touch of the rock seemed to echo the gentle pulse of the night, and he let himself melt into the calm embrace of the evening, utterly serene and safe. In the distance, along the edge of the beach, a small line of trees swayed gently in the evening breeze. Their leaves whispered softly, creating a delicate, almost musical rustle that blended seamlessly with the rhythm of the waves. Each sound was light and soothing, like the faint murmur of a lullaby carried by the wind. He walked closer, pausing to let the subtle noises fill his senses. The trees' shadows stretched across the sand, shifting slowly as the breeze moved through their branches. Their presence was calm and grounding, a quiet reminder of the stillness and safety of nature. A faint scent of earth and leaves drifted on the air, mingling with the salty aroma of the sea. It was subtle but refreshing. Wrapping him in a gentle embrace, he inhaled deeply, letting the soft perfume of the trees mix with the ocean breeze, feeling a profound sense of relaxation spread through his body. He sat down on the cool sand, watching the delicate dance of the branches and listening to the faint murmur of the leaves. The waves continued their steady rhythm, each lap against the shore harmonizing with the whispering trees. The combination of wind, water, and foliage created a perfect, serene symphony that settled into every corner of his mind. Leaning back slightly, he closed his eyes and allowed the gentle sounds to envelop him completely. The whispers of the distant trees, the tender lapping of the waves, and the soft movement of the breeze carried him further into a state of deep calm, inviting him to breathe slowly, relax fully, and rest peacefully in the quiet embrace of the evening. A single wave caught the last shimmer of sunlight, glowing faintly like liquid gold as it rolled gently toward the shore. Its movement was slow and deliberate, sparkling softly with each ripple, as if the ocean itself had sprinkled tiny stars across its surface. He knelt down near the water's edge, watching the golden crest approach. When it touched the sand, it spread like a delicate, glowing veil, retreating just as softly, leaving tiny bubbles that shimmered briefly before dissolving into the damp sand. The slow, gentle motion of the wave mesmerized him, inviting a deep, unhurried calm. The breeze brushed against his face, carrying a faint whisper of salt and the subtle warmth of the sun's last light. Each inhalation filled his lungs with serenity. Each exhale released tension, leaving him lighter and more relaxed. He reached out and let the tips of his fingers touch the wave, feeling the cool water mix with the golden shimmer, like a gentle touch from the sea itself. The sky above was deepening into twilight, soft purples merging into the darkening indigo. Stars began to twinkle faintly, tiny sparks of light mirrored in the rippling water. The harmony of waves, breeze, and fading sunlight created a perfect sanctuary of quiet, allowing him to sink fully into the serene rhythm of the evening. He closed his eyes, breathing slowly, letting the golden wave, the whispering wind, and the gentle hum of the tide lull him further into tranquility. Every sound, every shimmer, every movement of water and air seemed designed to cradle him into deep peace, a tender reminder that the world was calm, safe, and still. Far across the water, a small boat drifted slowly, its silhouette dark against the dimming light of the evening. The boat moved with an unhurried grace, leaving a soft, fleeting trail across the calm surface. Its presence was quiet, almost invisible, yet somehow comforting, like a gentle companion on the endless sea. He watched the shadow glide across the water, noticing the way the waves kissed the hull gently. Each movement seemed perfectly synchronized with the soft rhythm of the tide, as if the ocean and the boat were breathing together in calm harmony. The sky above deepened into rich shades of indigo, and the first stars appeared, tiny flickers of light mirrored faintly in the rippling water. The distant sound of the boat's gentle motion was a whispering lullaby, blending seamlessly with the steady, tender lap of the waves against the shore. He took a slow, deep breath, feeling the cool evening air fill his lungs, the salty scent of the sea, the faint warmth of the last sunlight fading behind the horizon, and the soft shadow of the drifting boat combined into a serene symphony that settled around him like a protective, calming blanket. He closed his eyes, imagining the boat gliding silently across the water, carrying peace and stillness in its quiet passage. The shadow became a symbol of tranquility, a gentle reminder that movement can be soft and unhurried, and that even in motion there is space for deep, restorative calm. He sank gently onto the soft, cool sand, letting it mold beneath him like a natural cushion. Each grain pressed lightly against his skin, a soothing reminder of the earth's quiet presence. The sand was slightly damp from the retreating tide, soft and smooth, comforting him with every touch. He ran his fingers through the sand, watching it slip slowly between them. The tiny grains sparkled faintly in the dim light of twilight, each one catching the glow of the first emerging stars. He marveled at the firelight, small, intricate patterns the waves had left behind, delicate ridges and swirls that seemed like nature's own gentle artwork. The gentle lap of the waves against the shore provided a steady rhythm, a calming backdrop to the soft rustle of the breeze through distant trees. Every sound harmonized perfectly, creating a tender symphony of evening tranquility. He breathed deeply, letting the salty air fill his lungs and release all remaining tension from his body. He pressed his palms into the sand, feeling the cool firmness beneath his hands. The grains shifted slightly with each movement, a gentle, grounding sensation that connected him fully to the beach and the calm rhythm of the ocean. Each inhale brought serenity, each exhale carried away any lingering worry, until only stillness remained. Closing his eyes, he let the sand cradle him completely, the soft earth beneath and the gentle sound of the waves above forming a perfect cocoon of peace. He felt safe, relaxed, and completely present, the quiet evening wrapping around him like a tender embrace, preparing him gently for rest. He closed his eyes for a moment, listening carefully to the soft whispers of the waves as they met the shore. Each lap of water was gentle and rhythmic, a tender sigh of the ocean that seemed to speak directly to his soul. The sound was soothing, a quiet lullaby that filled the empty space around him with calm. He knelt slightly, letting his hands rest lightly on the damp sand, feeling the subtle vibration of each wave as it rolled in and out. The water glimmered faintly in the emerging moonlight, sparkling softly before retreating back to the vastness of the sea. Each ripple seemed to breathe slowly, in perfect harmony with his own heartbeat. The breeze moved lightly over the shoreline, carrying with it the subtle scent of salt and the faint earthiness of wet sand. The combination of gentle water, whispering wind, and cool air created a peaceful symphony that enveloped him completely. He breathed deeply, each inhale drawing calm into his chest, each exhale releasing tension from his body. Above, the sky was sprinkled with stars, their light reflected in the faint shimmer of the waves. He felt a profound sense of connection to everything around him: the sea, the sand, the night sky, and the tender whisper of each wave. It was as if the ocean itself was gently guiding him toward rest, wrapping him in its quiet embrace. He leaned back slightly, letting the soft whispers of the waves fill every corner of his mind. The rhythmic ebb and flow of water and air invited him to relax fully, to sink deeper into tranquility, and to let the evening lull him toward a peaceful, restorative rest. As the night deepened, he noticed the quiet arrival of nocturnal birds settling into the trees along the shore. Their movements were gentle, almost imperceptible, and their soft, low calls blended perfectly with the lullaby of the waves. The bird's presence added a delicate harmony to the night, a tender counterpoint to the soothing rhythm of the sea. He watched them with quiet fascination, listening to the gentle flutter of wings and the subtle rustling of leaves. The sounds were soft and comforting, a gentle reminder that life continues quietly, even in the stillness of the evening. Each tiny movement seemed deliberate and unhurried, in perfect balance with the calm world around him. The breeze continued to drift over the sand, carrying the faint, clean scent of the sea and the whisper of the trees. The night air was cool against his skin, soothing and refreshing, wrapping him in a gentle embrace. Every inhale brought serenity, every exhale released tension, leaving him lighter and more at ease. Above, the stars twinkled more brightly, reflected faintly on the gentle ripples of the water. The birds' quiet, settling into their nighttime roosts, created a subtle rhythm, adding to the symphony of sounds. The soft waves, the rustling leaves, and the whispering wind forming a perfect harmony of night. He leaned back on the soft sand, closing his eyes, letting the night's gentle orchestra fill his senses completely. The nocturnal birds, the tender waves, and the cool breeze invited him to relax fully, sinking deeper into tranquility, and to let the peaceful calm of the evening carry him ever closer to rest. The first soft beam of moonlight slipped gently across the surface of the water, casting a delicate silver path that shimmered with each small ripple. The glow was faint at first, like a quiet whisper from the night sky, but it grew slowly brighter, spreading across the sea with calm, graceful certainty. He lifted his gaze, feeling the moon's presence settle over the beach like a gentle blessing. The cool light touched the sand, softened the edges of the rocks, and painted the trees with a pale, serene glow. Everything seemed hushed under its tender radiance. as though the world itself were exhaling. Slowly, he stepped closer to the shoreline, watching how the moonlight danced on the water. Each wave carried a streak of silver that rose and fell with the tide, creating a soft, rhythmic sparkle. The light moved like a calm heartbeat, steady and reassuring, inviting him into a deeper sense of peace. The breeze brushed gently against his skin, cooler now under the moon's soft glow. It carried with it the scent of the ocean, fresh, quiet, and soothing. He inhaled deeply, letting the calm wash over him, letting the soft glow seep into every corner of his mind and chest. Above him, the moon stood bright and peaceful, surrounded by stars that flickered gently like distant lanterns. Its glow felt protective, warm despite its cool color, as though it were watching over the sea, the sand, and him. He closed his eyes slowly, allowing the gentle moonlight to settle over him like a soft blanket. The quiet shimmer of the waves, the cool night air, and the serene glow of the moon blended into a perfect moment of tranquility, guiding him deeper into rest, into stillness, into a peaceful calm that wrapped around him like a whispered lullaby. A long, shimmering path of moonlight stretched gently across the water, forming a silver trail that seemed to invite him forward. The soft glow rippled with every small movement of the waves, creating a hypnotic dance of light that soothed his thoughts and quieted his breathing. He gazed at the path for a long moment, feeling as though the moon had laid it there just for him. A calm, guiding line across the vast surface of the sea. The light wavered softly, never breaking, always returning to its gentle rhythm as the tide rolled in and out. It felt like a peaceful message from the night itself, calm and reassuring. Stepping closer to the edge of the water, he let the cool sea breeze brush gently against his face. The air carried a clean, salty scent, mixed with the faint earthiness of the nearby trees. Each breath he took felt deeper, slower, as though the night was teaching him how to relax, how to let go, how to simply be still. The silver path gleamed brighter as the moon rose higher, illuminating the ripples in the water with delicate highlights. He watched the light bend and curve with each wave, creating shifting patterns that moved like a quiet heartbeat, steady, gentle, endlessly soothing. He lowered himself onto the soft sand, letting it cradle him once more. The sound of the waves was calm and steady, blending perfectly with the whispering breeze. The silver path reflected in his eyes as he breathed slowly, each inhale drawing him deeper into peace, each exhale releasing whatever weight remained on his mind. Closing his eyes, he felt the silvery glow even through his eyelids, soft, cool, comforting. The moonlit path, the calming tide, and the quiet night wrapped around him like a tender embrace, guiding him toward complete rest and serenity. He rose from the sand with slow, gentle movements, feeling the cool grains slide softly from his hands. As he began to walk along the shoreline, his steps were light, barely pressing into the damp earth beneath him. Each footprint faded slightly as the soft waves reached forward, smoothing the sand with a tender touch. His steps created a calm rhythm, soft, steady, unhurried. The sand cushioned his feet with every motion, and the coolness beneath him felt soothing, like a quiet whisper from the earth. The air around him was peaceful, carrying the scent of the sea and the soft rustle of distant leaves. The moonlight followed him, casting a gentle glow on the path before him. His shadow stretched lightly across the sand, long and soft, moving gracefully with each slow step he took. The world felt still, as though it were watching over him with quiet kindness. He paused at times, allowing the breeze to brush gently through his hair, letting the night settle deeper into his being. The soft whisper of the waves blended with his footsteps, creating a harmony of motion and sound. It was as though each step led him further into calmness, guiding him deeper into the heart of the peaceful night. A faint sparkle of light appeared where the water met the shore, tiny reflections dancing playfully with each movement of the tide. He watched them shimmer for a moment before continuing, his steps slower now, more relaxed, more connected to the soothing world around him. Walking in the soft, moonlit quiet, he felt safe, grounded, and gently wrapped in serenity. Each step carried away a little more tension, leaving only stillness within him, like a calm breath resting softly in his chest. He lifted his gaze toward the sky, where a single bright star shone more clearly than all the others. It hung quietly above the horizon, steady and gentle, as if it were watching over the world with a soft, comforting glow. Its light felt ancient and calm, like a whisper traveling across time just to reach him in this peaceful moment. He stopped walking, allowing himself to absorb the quiet presence of the star. The moonlit waves rolled softly beside him, their rhythm slow and warm, carrying the reflected light of the night sky with every gentle rise and fall. The air around him grew still, making the star's silent glow feel even more serene. The distant shimmer seemed to pulse faintly, almost like a heartbeat, steady, patient, reassuring. It reminded him of the calmness that had been growing within him throughout the night, a calmness that matched the ocean's whisper, the breeze's sigh, and now the star's soft glow. He lowered himself into the sand once more, leaning back on his hands as he gazed upward. The sky felt immense, yet comforting, as though its vastness held no weight, only peace. The star flickered gently, its light reaching him through the quiet darkness, touching his mind with a tender sense of wonder. A cool breeze drifted over him, carrying with it the familiar scent of salt and the distant murmur of leaves. He breathed in slowly, deeply, letting the night fill his lungs with calm. The star's gentle glow seemed to settle inside him like a warm, soft spark of tranquility. He closed his eyes for a moment, feeling its presence not just above him, but within him, a small point of light guiding him deeper into stillness. The waves, the air, the sky, and the quiet star all worked together to cradle him gently, inviting him further into rest. A gentle breeze drifted across the shoreline, moving softly like a quiet sigh from the night itself. It brushed against his face with a cool, tender touch, carrying the faint scent of salt and distant leaves. The breeze was neither strong nor sharp. It was calm, steady, and soothing, like a soft hand resting lightly on his shoulder. He inhaled deeply, letting the cool air fill his lungs. Each breath felt smoother than the last, as though the breeze itself was guiding him into deeper relaxation. The faint rustling of the trees joined the soft whisper of the waves, creating a delicate harmony that wrapped around him like a warm blanket of sound. As the breeze flowed past him, it gently lifted a few strands of his hair, then let them fall back into place with effortless grace. The motion was so soft, so unhurried, that it felt as though time itself had slowed down to match the calmness of the night. He closed his eyes for a moment, focusing on the tender sensation of air moving across his skin. It cooled his cheeks, brushed lightly against his arms, and flowed around him like a calm river. Each subtle shift in the wind carried with it a deeper sense of peace, settling his thoughts and quieting every corner of his mind. The breeze mingled with the quiet sound of the waves, the shimmer of moonlight, and the faint hum of nighttime life. Together, they formed a perfect symphony, soft, gentle, endlessly soothing. He felt as though the night was breathing with him, matching each inhale and exhale, guiding him toward complete tranquility. He opened his eyes slowly, feeling lighter, calmer, and more connected to the peaceful world around him. The breeze continued to drift gently across the shore, a quiet reminder that even the smallest movements of nature could bring deep, lasting calm. The moonlight spread gently across the surface of the water, creating a soft reflection that shimmered with every subtle movement of the waves. The image was calm and delicate, like a quiet painting brushed slowly across the sea. The reflection wavered gently, never fully breaking, but shifting with a soft elegance that eased his breathing and softened his thoughts. He moved closer to the shoreline, watching the moon's pale glow ripple outward in thin, gentle lines. Each ripple appeared like a soft sigh from the ocean, carrying tranquility toward him with every small wave. The water's surface was smooth, peaceful, and endlessly soothing, mirroring the calmness that had settled within him. The reflection stretched toward the sand, casting a faint glow around his feet. The light felt cool and gentle, wrapping around him in a soft halo that made the night feel warmer, safer, and more intimate. He crouched slightly, letting his fingertips brush the cool surface of the water. The reflection trembled lightly at his touch, then returned to its calm rhythm, as if welcoming his presence. He watched the shifting glow with quiet fascination. The moon above and the reflection below worked together in perfect harmony, one steady, one fluid, both serene. The gentle dance of light and water carried a soothing comfort that sank deeper into his chest, allowing him to feel fully at ease. A soft breeze passed over the water, causing the reflection to shimmer even more delicately. The ripples expanded slowly, spreading calm outward in widening circles. He breathed in the cool night air, feeling the stillness around him settle gently into his heart. With each passing moment, the quiet reflection of the moon felt like a whisper of peace, guiding him gently into deeper relaxation, into softness, into quiet, into rest.